Lance and Steven in the morning.
Excellent.
That is quality production right there.
We're on par with Michael Bay and other filmmakers.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. Steven Spielberg, has he been making things anymore?
Spielberg? No. Yeah.
So I apologize. My connection says it's a little bit fuzzy.
Yeah. Weird. I'm seeing yours is low here.
That's the church internet for you.
The church internet.
Yeah. Don't know how to fix it. So we'll keep going. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Am I quite delayed for you, Steve?
No, not too bad.
Okay. Yeah, good morning, everyone. We're back on. And for people who enjoy taking a break from whatever important things they're doing to do something not so important, which is to hang out with us.
That's right.
Yeah. And so I don't know what's first on our list today, Steve, to chat about.
Well, we can talk about baseball. I know that's your favorite topic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, baseball. Love it.
You're down here in the office, every day, just talking stats and numbers, and I can't get over your love for the game.
I know nothing about baseball at all. So no, not a big lover of baseball, but I mean, I'll pretend to be interested. Tell me what you know.
I'm glad you'll pretend. Maybe some people are actually interested. I've come to learn most people don't really give a rip about baseball here in Canada, but I do. So I'm going to talk about it because I'm here.
You do you, Steve.
Yep. So 2 nights ago, Vlad Guerrero Jr., so that's the son of Hall of Fame baseball player Vladimir Guerrero Sr.
Okay.
He was the phenom. He was the big up and coming guy, and so he played on the team all last year. And there was moments where you could say, yeah, he's going to be good, but he's still only 22 years old right now, which is fairly young for a ball player. Like most people would agree, most ball players don't come into their prime until their late 20s. Unlike hockey, you hit your prime earlier, feels like in hockey, but in baseball you don't hit your prime until a little bit later. But anyway, he's 22 years old. He had a 3 home run game 2 nights ago. The Jays won 9-5. And
oh wow.
Yeah, so that's something his dad never did. His dad has never had a 3 home run game. And so yeah, pretty big moment.
So will he be in the Hall of Fame for that?
Well, I mean, you don't get in the Hall of Fame for one good game. You kind of got to have a career.
Oh, I see. He's got to do that for several more games.
Do that for several more years worth of games. Yeah. But and this is the thing I love about baseball. So he has a big 3 home run game. The Jays win 9-5. And then last night they go out and get curb stomped 8-2. Like it's baseball is not, so hockey is essentially the same team taking the ice night after night. With baseball, it changes so much based on who's pitching, the pitcher you're up against, and so you it was just a tough night for them. And I mean, they had a guy who's been really good for them so far this year on the mound, and he just got hit around and let up 3-run home run and kind of got demoralized a little bit. And yeah. Somebody like curb stomp.
Really like curb. Yeah. I liked it too. It was a fascinating intro with baseball for all of our diehard baseball fans. There's one here at least.
Yeah.
Steve.
Well, and I go back to the 80s watching Jays games. My uncle coming over after church, we'd have family over, and my uncle loved baseball, the Blue Jays and stuff, have the Jays games on. And I remember watching that Sunday afternoons, watching a ball game, and it was just fun. And I mean, back in the days of Robbie Alomar and Kelly Gruber on the Blue Jays and stuff. So yeah, I go way back with baseball.
Cool. Yeah, so it's like from your upbringing and everything.
Yeah. Although my dad is like you, he had no interest in it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what else do we want to talk about today?
Well, we've got our Newfie phrase for the day.
Newfie phrase for the day. Okay. What is it, Steve?
Well, I picked one that's relevant for how it felt this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so the phrase is it's a mozzie old day, or just mozzie old day.
Mozzie old day. See, if I were reading this, I'd say that's a mousy old day.
Yeah.
Which would probably have a different meaning.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay,
I don't know what mousy old day would mean.
Beloved fans, we need you to give us your best guess of what mozzie old day could possibly mean in the Newfoundland tongue. So go ahead, comment. If Kim and Janice are watching, please refrain from answering. Let those of us from away try to answer first. Okay, Amanda guessing gloomy day?
Maybe. Gloomy day. That's a good guess.
Good guess, okay. Anyone else want to take a stab at it? Mozzie old day. Janice will try to refrain.
She'll try to refrain from answering. That's
yeah. Someone's guessing overcast.
I mean, you're getting close in gloomy and overcast. I mean, the hint is that it fits today, right?
Right.
So the idea of mozzie old day is a gray, foggy, drizzly, that kind of a day. And so Newfoundland, there's a dampness in the air, but it's not necessarily raining hard. A regular day, it's a regular day in Newfoundland.
So if
we have more mozzie old days than sunny days.
So if you love this weather, you should move to Newfoundland. Yeah, living on the coast would be just like this well, and it's the same on the west coast, wouldn't it be? That places like Seattle and all that would be pretty rainy and gray most of the time. Yeah, Vancouver. Someone's saying, yeah.
Definitely. It's because you get that kind of weather there. I'm curious to know how many days of like precipitation, cloudy, overcast kind of days would be in Vancouver versus in St. John's, we'll say.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Is it different?
Yeah.
Maybe one of our watchers can Google that.
Yeah. That's something to go on the Googles.
Yeah, go on the Googles. Search it up. I walked to the church today in the rain, and it was very nice. Yeah, I love this kind of weather. Like, not when it's all the time, not all the time, but you know, I like going for a walk in the rain, and it's nice and cool and smells nice.
It's trying to brighten up out there. It's because sun's going to come. It's going to warm up.
Yeah. This
rain is going to turn things green. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. The rain is adding to the lake in our parking lot that we've had there all year. So
yeah,
it's nice.
We should just put some park benches out there and
yeah. Bird feed so you can
we could create our own little park walking trail around the lake in our parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. For those,
Cindy said there was 192 rainy days in Vancouver. You see that?
Yeah, 192 rainy days in Vancouver. So then, how many in
St. John's?
No, it's not Fort St. John. St. John, right?
Yeah, St. John's, Newfoundland.
For 5 minutes, and then it'll be yellow again. Snow.
Oh, the green.
Oh, the green. Sorry, I was thinking of yellow snow. Yeah. Depends on how quickly this coffee goes through me.
Mm.
Start your 5-minute timer.
We're getting the potty humor 11 minutes in.
Potty humor. 162 days in St. John's. Okay.
Wow.
More rainy days in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then we should have a science special or a weather special episode where we just look at the meteorological data of why is it mozzie old days on the coasts.
Yeah. Well, it definitely has to do something with the oceans, right? And the weather patterns over ocean. Yeah. So, Lance, what do you want to talk about today?
Well,
do you have any life hacks for us?
I do. I got a life hack with Lance.
Life hacks with Lance.
I think this is a pretty practical one. So
this isn't going to wreck our bowels, is it? Like your last life hack?
No, it has nothing to do with bodily functions whatsoever. So I don't know how many of our listeners / watchers are crafty people. You know, crafty people, like they're always collecting. They love like mason jars and hot glue and beads. Crafty people. Yeah.
Not people trying to trap you. No.
Kind
of crafty.
not that kind of crafty. Yeah, crafty as in like do it yourself, take things that like empty old whatever and turn it into a new thing. That kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So my life hack is when you have like an empty jam jar or a mason jar or something like that, the life hack would be that you take it and you actually throw it away or recycle it. And the hack of it is that we all know that you are going to collect way more craft supplies than you're actually going to use. So just save yourself some storage trouble by just saying to yourself, I'm not going to use this right now. I'm not actually going to use this. I was thinking of this. This is kind of funny, but I just Amanda really liked that.
It's creative, not crafty.
I like that. I was thinking of this because my sister-in-law Darian, she lives with us, and she's really into plants. She loves having plants in the house and everything, which is awesome. Makes the house feel alive and everything. But she really was getting into making her own pots. She got a drill bit that was meant for like drilling holes in ceramics, so you could kind of turn things into pots. And so she's collecting all this stuff, mason jars and all that. And just the other day she was like, I'm not actually going to keep this. I need to just get rid of it. And we're encouraging her to do that. And so that's what I was thinking of. Save yourself some space. Just say, I'm not actually going to use this later, and throw it away.
I have no need for this. This would make a beautiful container.
Yeah, I could. Well, that's the self-talk these creative, crafty people do, right? Is, I could totally see myself turning this into this would make a wonderful.
It would make a wonderful jar sitting on my counter until I actually turn it into something.
Yeah, if I just collect 50 more of these.
Oh.
And then, but you were showing me a comedian, I think a couple years ago, who had this bit about his wife doing craft projects and all this stuff, and his joke was to just realize that you're spending more money making the craft out of all this stuff than actually just going out and buying the thing you're trying to make. Hear me, dear listeners. I'm not bashing creative, crafty things. I think that's wonderful. I just think it's funny sometimes.
Yeah. And listen, it's not always wrong. You're not too far off the mark here.
Yeah.
But this is coming from non-creative, crafty. I'm creative, just in other ways.
Yeah, I hoard things just in other ways. What's this? Cindy, it just took some old lampshades, turned them into plant stands, and made 50. Okay, so Cindy, this is different. You are making money off of the things you're doing, to which I applaud. I'm more speaking to people who it's just gonna clutter the house right up. But good on you, making some money, turning stuff into other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and my wife is the person who spends the $50 for the other person who
totally. Yeah. Well, it's so wonderful. There are many home businesses, local businesses in Grand Prairie even, where people make all kinds of amazing stuff and or put together all kinds of amazing stuff. And so yeah, you should totally check out what they do, because they're better at it than me anyways. They might be better at it than you.
With your jam jars and glitter.
Yeah, that's right. I love paying people to do the stuff I can't do.
That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah. So there's my life hack for the day.
That was a fun life hack, Lance. That was fun.
What we need to do our reveal now, Steve. What's our fun
reveal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was talking to Jessica Himshoot, and she had given us some ideas, and the life hacks was one. And another idea she'd given us to do, which I thought was great because I love doing this kind of stuff, is doing some reviews of movies or board games or video games or whatever we've been into. And so I have a board game review that I would like to share with everybody. And so I'm going to do a little screen share.
Do it.
Of this. Pandemic Legacy.
Sweet.
Pandemic Legacy. And as you can see, you can buy it on Amazon right now for $89. Now,
there you go. Cindy could buy that. She sold 2 lampstands for $50 each. You could buy this, Cindy.
Yeah. So this is an interesting game. I don't know if anybody's played Pandemic before, but Pandemic it's basically you're curing the world from different viruses. So really fits the mood of our world today, this Pandemic game. And what's funny is actually the sale of Pandemic went through the roof this past year.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so yeah, just it went through the roof, and people have been buying and playing Pandemic. So the difference with Pandemic Legacy is that unlike a lot of other board games, this board game really you can only play it through the story once, and then it's done. Because as you play the game, you actually change the board, you rip cards up, you destroy pieces, you get new pieces, and the game changes based on how you play it. And anyway, I've played this. This is season 1. They actually have 3 different seasons of this out now.
Oh, wow.
Season 1, season 2, and season 0. Season 0 is like a prequel to the story. But
cool.
Loved it. loved this game. We played it. It's 2 to 4 players. It's a cooperative game, so you're working together to defeat these viruses. But the cool thing with this one is that there's a story that evolves as you play, and new things happen, new things get revealed. There's plot twists and all this kind of stuff to this story. And we played it and really enjoyed it, although the game kicked our butt big time. And because if you lose, bad things happen. So like for example, in this game, if the viruses get out of control in certain cities, you have a map of the world. And if viruses get out of control in certain cities, they start to riot, they become unstable, and that stays in play throughout the course, like your multiple game sessions. That city stays at those levels unless you do things to change it. And cities can become completely like rioting and makes it almost impossible to get in to do anything, which it's basically an evolving game. It's a story that you play through. It's really cool. Yeah. Really fun. Highly recommend it. Bit of a higher price point for a board game, but the funny thing is most board games or like the bigger games that are different and that people are, buying now are running up to the $80, $90 price point. And for this particular game, you will play it. A lot of people say, well, what's the point for a game that you can only play through the one story? It's going to take you between 12 to 20 play sessions to play this through. And honestly, if you think about it, how many other board games have you played more than 10 times that you probably own, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Like most people buy a board game and they play it half a dozen times at best.
Yeah. Well, and I would say I stopped playing board games because it often feels like you're just playing the same game over and over again. So which is why I love these legacy board games, because it's all about that. It's changing and your playthrough is different. And yeah, it's kind of like, in my mind, it's almost comparable to like those dinner theater game things you do. Yeah, where like, it's all about you in the group having an experience together.
Yeah, totally. So what I found, so I mean, you think about it, I think we it ended up being like 16 or 17 total sessions we ended up playing. And so for $90, it basically works out to $6 a game, or a little less than that, 5 something a game for 4 people. I mean, think about it. Like, what do you spend money doing that you're not gonna go to a movie with 4 people, because I mean each game session was easily 2 hours and a lot of fun. You're not going to go to a movie for a total of $5 for 4 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you got some comments here. Beloved Facebook user saying they watched Contagion last week.
Okay.
Good. Why not take a break from the global pandemic by watching a movie
about a global
pandemic? But that pandemic was worse than COVID, I think, in the long run. So, but man, that's not relaxing for me. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but that stresses me.
Yeah.
Played the original Pandemic once we understood how we loved it. Yeah, it's good. It's a good game.
Yeah. So for people who are typically into your traditional board games like Scrabble, Monopoly, those kinds of things, this is the new type of game, which there's a learning curve. If you haven't been into these types of games, this is a very steep learning curve.
Yeah.
But if you're used to any kind of the newer type Catan, what they call Euro games, if you're into some of those ideas, it'll be a little bit of an easier game to pick up. But.
Right. And yeah, there are other legacy games. This is like it's a whole thing, right? They take traditional board games and they make it a legacy version. So so when the pandemic started, my family, we actually bought Risk Legacy. So the classic board game Risk, but then with all those same twists and everything, where you're opening cards, and you know, if you use too many missiles during the game, you have to open up like the nuclear wasteland pack, and there's new characters to play with, and weird things happen, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, and so Risk Legacy was the first of the legacy kind of games, and
Really?
Yeah, and so I think it came out about 10 years ago ish, maybe not even that long, but it was the first of its kind. It was unique, and then I would say Pandemic was the first that really brought it to the next level. That
Right.
This is what it can be, and it's so Pandemic Season 1 I think came out about 6 years ago, I want to say, or 5 years ago, and it's sold really great. I disagree with Amanda. I think Season 2 was good. I see why people wouldn't like Season 2, but Season 2 is different. I actually enjoyed aspects of Season 2 better than the first season, because it lends itself to more exploration and finding things and that kind of stuff, which I really enjoy.
Right.
But it's harder. It's harder to play because there's things that you may not find or see, which makes the game harder.
Right.
But yeah, there's lots of different legacy games. The latest one, well, I'll save it. I'll save it for a future review, because there's another game we love as a family, and maybe that'll be a future board game review. But it's a newer concept in board games, but more and more people are moving in that route, and I think there's probably 8 or 10 different types of legacy games, and some are better than others. But it's something that a lot of people are starting to develop, and there's even new types, I'll say types of legacy games, in that the game changes as you play it, but you can still reset it and play it again, right?
Right. So Nicole's saying they watched The Stand a few weeks ago. I've not heard of that one.
No, that's based on Stephen King.
Oh,
is that like the old miniseries, Nicole, with Rob Lowe and all those characters? Because they have a new one, I think, on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, and while Nicole maybe answers that, we'd love to hear, what are some board games or games that you love playing with your family, maybe that you've enjoyed over the course of the last year? Your pandemic go-to board games. So it's the new one on Prime.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah,
I watched the old miniseries from the 90s.
Yeah, we'll need Nicole to give us a review of it. Maybe next week we'll have her come in as a guest on the show and review.
Well, we had kind of teased we would do a guest, but we didn't after. We never talked to anybody. We need to do that.
Oh, we should. Well, so Nicole, maybe next week we'll bring movie reviews with Nicole. It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. So my saying that actually really irritates my family is, after watching a show or movie, I usually say, "That was fun. That was a fun movie," even if it was like a really depressing, gut-wrenching show. It's like, fun movie. I'm like, that's so irritating. Like, what was fun about it? Like the deep horror and like heart-wrenching relational dysfunction of it, or what? It's like, oh. Or you say, our family has been doing a lot of Snakes and Ladders and Candyland. Okay, those are classics.
I detest Candyland.
Yeah?
With a passion.
I've never played it, I don't think.
I hate that game. It is so frustrating. And because it's completely random. You're drawing a card from a thing, you're winning the game, and then before you know it, you're like back at it was like Snakes and Ladders, only instead of with dice, which at least was fun rolling dice, you get sent way back to the beginning.
I'm sensing that a childhood Steve lost at Candyland a lot, and he never really overcame that bitterness.
No. Childhood Steve never played Candyland. Dad Steve played Candyland with his kids and would lose his mind constantly playing that game. I need to be actively engaged. Like, if you're playing a game that the game could play itself, because it's just cards drawn out of a deck, and you move the thing to where, like, that game plays itself. You don't even need players.
Right.
The game plays itself.
Lost to your kids.
Yeah.
But so there are a lot of these games where it feels very much just chance. Like, there's no, and I think that's why I really enjoy the legacy games, and then some of these other games that are really built around like playing together against the board, because those feel more like your choices really matter and affect the play of the game. But yeah, these games where it feels like, all it takes, I can make the best decisions ever, but all it takes is bad rolls or whatever to undo it all.
Well, and I'm okay with that, with even an element of chance, such as risk. You have good strategies, but the chance can go against you, and you end up losing, even though you had a good strategy. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
What I'm not okay with is no strategy whatsoever. Just completely, that's so frustrating. And maybe there's something in there about how we view life sometimes too.
Yeah. I don't know. We want control or something. Wow.
Yeah. Games with small kids, no strategy gives them a chance to win. True. That's true. And I think I put it this way. I enjoy playing games with my kids way more as they became older, 8, 9, 10, now as teenagers. I mean, we're playing way more complex games where you actually have to plan and strategize and stuff. And that is fun.
Yeah. Where you can crush them and you're not so worried about their
feelings,
little hearts,
Yeah. And you can do your victory dance and rub it in and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And my kids will be in counseling when they're older.
Yeah.
He would dance around the table and he would mock me.
They just got to remind you of all the times you lost at Candyland.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. That day will come when you can win and rub it in your kids' faces. The joys of parenthood.
That's good.
It's the little things that keep us going.
We're over 30 minutes. I think it's time to say goodbye to everybody. But
I think so.
But we had a couple of things we wanted to draw attention to at CFA.
Oh, yes.
Mother's Day.
So the one thing. So Mother's Day is in a little more over a week from now. So I'm wanting to put together a fun little lighthearted kind of Mother's Day video thing. And so something we were thinking was doing just sharing from people comments of, you're a mom if. So for example, the one I would share is, you're a mom if you find untouched cups of coffee all over the house. Because I see that with the moms in my life, that's just so common. You get so busy that you forgot to even drink the coffee. So yeah, I'd love to hear people just share those things. Comment. You can even comment on this video later or message me through Facebook or whatever. But yeah, just you're a mom if. What for the moms in your life? What would be fun little phrases, things they say or things they do that it's just like that's such a mom thing. Yeah. So please share that.
Good. And the other thing we wanted to draw attention to was some of the upcoming fundraisers for our Bolivia missions projects. They got a couple of fundraisers come up here in May. And So I think they have a paint night coming up real soon, like a virtual paint night hosted by our own Shanda Fuller, who's going to be doing kind of a teaching on that. And then I think the other thing that they're planning in the very near future is it's gone from me. There was two things. There's another one in May. Anyway, check it out on our Facebook page. All the information is there for what they're doing. And yeah, what's this?
You know your mom if you find yourself saying sentences you never thought would come out of your mouth. Gotta give us some examples, Amanda.
Yeah, I need an example of one of those sentences.
Just put asterisks for all the swear words in place of the swear words.
Spring cleaning, Amanda says, was the other Bolivia.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's the one I saw.
Yeah. Marcello, watching. Yeah, thanks all for helping Bolivia. We're doing our best. A big thank you to Debbie and the team for putting all those fundraisers on and working hard at that.
Yeah. Yeah, still working, figuring out how we can keep moving things forward.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Steve.
Our time has passed, Lance.
Yeah.
We have to say goodbye for another week.
Goodbye.
But spoiler hint for next week. We're going to come back. It's going to be Lance and Steven in the morning, video game themes.
Video game theme. Yeah.
Because we've started that conversation. Some interesting things there.
Yeah. I have to bring this up. You know your mom if you pee with the door open. Yes. Yes, that's so true. Or you're never alone in the bathroom.
Never alone in the bathroom.
Yeah. You haven't showered alone in years. Oh, moms, you guys, what you live with.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, friends, take care. Join us next week.
Thanks for joining us today or watching over the weekend or whenever you watch this.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.